3 decades after that classic early 90s trash fire monstrosity, Nintendo was like, okay, we will give a mulligan. Another Mario Brothers movie. We're allowing it. Here's hoping for a Legend of Zelda movie and Metroid also, but here we go. Mario. So the Super Mario Brothers movie is an adaptation of the Super Mario Brothers game for the big screen. I feel like that's all the setup you need right there. It's an animated feature by Illumination Entertainment. The plot is very much the plot of a Super Mario game. Mario and Luigi go down a drain, go to this magical world. Bowser's causing problems. He needs to be stopped. Want to touch on the voice acting here also, because that's where the apprehension was. I was like, oh, Chris Pratt as Mario. No one seemed blown away by Chris Pratt's Mario iteration in the trailer, but he really works in this movie. In fact, most anyone in this movie is pretty well cast. They do a good job in this movie in a very clever way addressing Mario sounds like this, and that's totally cool. But it's not just Mario. Charlie Day as Luigi is next level perfect. Anya Taylor-Joy is Peach. Keegan-Michael Key is Toad. Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong. I'm going on and on here, but the point is when you're watching the movie and you're watching the voices play out in front of you, you can't help but think, is there anyone else I would cast who would be better in these roles? No. Not for my money, I can't think of anyone. Jack Black as Bowser, also great. There's actually some humorous moments with Bowser where he's just pining over Peach. And you gotta think, well, yeah, he probably does do that in his off time. It's part of the humor of the movie because this is an animated feature for children. There is one small role in the movie, a support character, that I didn't feel the voice fit as well. I don't know if people know this character's in the movie, but I could have gone for the character sounding older and crankier. And the animation is great in this movie. It's kind of extraordinary, actually. The metric for that, I don't know if it's even accurate, but it's water effects, water particles, when anyone's in water. For some odd reason, I look at that, I'm like, okay, that's how good the animation is. In the Super Mario Brothers movie, it's actually pretty incredible. Easter eggs and references, oh yeah, they're all in here. And they start out pretty early, too. The thing that makes it different for this movie is there are a lot of movies out there that just rely on Easter eggs and references. This never felt like member berries. It felt like a celebration. It felt fun. It would have felt weird if they didn't have them. So I enjoyed them when I saw them. I had fun when they caught my eye. My fellow Super Mario Brothers Super Show fans, you'll know it. You'll hear it. And Brian Tyler's musical score for this film, I felt was a great way to take classic Mario tunes and adapt them for live action. Well, it's not live action, it's animated, but you know what I mean? Adapt it for the big screen. Change it up a little bit to fit the action sequence that's going down as it's going down, but still maintain the core of the theme that you're playing off of. I thought it was really well done. And what a project, you know? That must have been a lot of fun being like, I have these classic tunes that I get to tweak with and adapt to the big screen. I kind of envy him for that. Now, as for what bothered me in this movie, I know you don't want things to bother you. It's a Mario movie, yeah, but there are always things. I felt this movie cut short that which makes a Mario game, which is the platforming, the action platforming. Example, there's a scene where they're like, okay, we're at point A, we gotta get to point B. Here we go. Then it cuts back to them, they're like, okay, we've arrived at point B. Well, my thought was, I'm sure there's a whole journey to getting here, and that's really the spirit of a Super Mario Brothers game. This seemed to be a movie that was more concerned about the destination than the journey, and I feel like a Mario game is more concerned with the journey than the destination. Not that the movie doesn't have action sequences, the last act has all of that. It's actually kind of awesome. It's a lot, it's fun, it's within the context and lore of the Super Mario Brothers games and the power-ups that be. Now finishing off my, I know, less fun negative observations, I got to address something the movie did that I felt did hurt it. And that is separating Mario and Luigi. They do kind of a script flip in here where Luigi's the one that gets captured by Bowser. So it's Mario, Peach, and Toad that are on the adventure. Peach not getting captured and going on the adventure, totally fine. On more than a couple of occasions, she has been in on the action by not getting kidnapped. Whatever. But it was weird that they felt someone still needed to get kidnapped, so we're gonna kidnap Luigi. They use that as the reason Mario goes on this adventure, but I don't think he needed it. There's enough threat level there. It's like Bowser is going to destroy the Mushroom Kingdom. Maybe Mario or Luigi would be like, oh, we just want to get home. But one of them could talk to the other one and be like, we should help. We need to help because that's what heroes do. And then they'll be like, all right, yeah, let's help this world out. That sounds like a good idea. Because we're good guys. I'd be totally fine with that. All this is to say, I thought it was a mistake separating Mario and Luigi because Chris Pratt and Charlie Day are amazing together. The Mario and Luigi dynamic the brotherly love dynamic between these two was actually kind of incredible. And the first 20 minutes or so of setup is with them. And then you separate them. Yeah, I had that feeling of, oh, well, Mario and Luigi need to, he needs to save his brother so the duo can get back together. But what superseded that feeling, what overrode that, was the feeling of, yeah, the movie is a lot less now because they're separated. It would have been so much better to keep them on screen together. I know Mario's had his solo adventures before without Luigi, but in terms of this movie and the setup for this film, the two were just too good together to separate. Look, in the end, you're gonna hear this word when people talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie. You're gonna hear, it's a cute movie. Because it's true, it is a cute movie. It's actually a really tough thing adapting a Super Mario Brothers movie because Super Mario fandom spans about, well, it's nearly 4 decades now. Who do you aim the movie towards? This is a family film. It's a film for children, absolutely. It hit its mark in some spots, had its flaws in other spots. Funny, it's a 90-minute runtime. Usually I feel like that's a perfect runtime for a family animated film. But if they kicked that up to an hour 45, I feel like we could have gotten 1 or 2 more action platforming sequences that would have felt a little more like a Mario Brothers game. It's a fun family time at the movies. It's not as amazing as you probably want it to be, but also on the other hand, it doesn't suck. Some of the flaws aside, I still had a fun time in this one. No alcohol required. Or mushrooms, whatever substance is in the mushroom kingdom these days. Or so the Super Mario Brothers movie, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or what's your favorite Super Mario Brothers game? That's a good question. Whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more. Metroid is Ellen Ripley in an Iron Man suit. How has that not happened before?